Alright, we are live here on MTG Unpacked, cracking open over 150 packs of Innistrad Crimson Vow. So this is the vampire themed set. You might be able to tell from the delicious looking things in the background there. So welcome. We'll give it a moment as people drift into the stream. Welcome to Gumsy. And is anyone else cracking any packs in Crimson Vow? Have you had a chance to try out the new set yet? Let me know in the chat or comments. Alright, so before we crack open the packs, we have 155 packs. We are going to get just a few more. So there's a code you can use, play Vow, I believe. Okay, so that will get us 3 extra packs. Alright, so Gumsy asks, what are you looking forward to most in Crimson Vow? Honestly, moving away from werewolves a little bit and having more vampires I think will be cool. So yeah, I haven't really been following the spoilers too closely, so it's going to be a bit of a surprise as to what we pull here. So without further ado, let's start cracking some packs. So I'll be going through everything to begin with, and as we see things, anything we've seen before, we'll just gloss over. So we have Supernatural Rescue, Unholy Efficient, okay, first Vampire, Nurturing Presence, Toxic Scorpion, ooh, with Death Touch, okay, Dreadlight Monstrosity, Crab Horror, Witness the Future, Wedding Security, and Demonic Bargain. Source free for 3x or the top 13 cards of your library, then search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. So I'm wondering if they'll do that 13 theme in any other cards here. We have Witch's Web, Sigarda's Imprisonment, Estwald Shulbasher, Nebelgast Beguiler, Panicked Bystander turns into a cackling culprit. So he transforms if you gain life. Okay. The Cathars. And Torrens Fist of the Angels. Legendary creature. Human Cleric. 2/2 for 3 with training. So whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human creature token. Or soldier. Human soldier creature token with training. And training means whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So that's a new mechanic in this set. Got a couple of wild cards here. We've also got Dawnheart Disciple, Drogskull Infantry, Piercing Light, Militia Rallier, Retrieve, and yes! Chandra Dress to Kill Mythic. Yeah, so I'm going to have to build some decks with Chandra in them. So 3 loyalty for 3, her +1, add red. Chandra Dress to Kill deals 1 damage to up to 1 target player or planeswalker. Her other +1 exile the top card of your library. If it's red, you may cast it this turn. This is reminding me of the one from Kaladesh a little. -7, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast red spells from among them this turn. You get an emblem with, whenever you cast a red spell, this emblem deals X damage to any target, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Nice! Okay, so first Planeswalker has been pulled. Next up we have Bleed Dry, Repository Scarb, Wretched Throng, Zombie Horror, look at that artwork, gruesome. Bloody Betrayal, Bride's Gown, Infestation Expert, okay, so creating insects, and Griff Ryder, creature, zombie warrior, 3/3 for 2 with exploit. So when this creature enters battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. And when it exploits a creature, destroy target planeswalker. At the beginning of your upkeep, Griff Ryder deals 1 damage to you. Okay, so that's the downside. Yeah, I agree. The art on that Chandra is beautiful. We've got a Doomed Dissenter. Looks like a reprint with different artwork. That zombie is awesome. Nature's Embrace, Sporeback Wolf, Rot-Tide Gargantua, Zombie Kraken. What? Lantern of the Lost, Soul Cipher board, and flips around into the spirit. How does it transform? With the omen counters. Aha, okay. And Overcharged Amalgam creature, zombie horror, 3/3 for 4, flash, flying, and exploit. It's got it all. When it exploits a creature, counter target spell activate ability or triggered ability. And let's see, aim for the head. Some fun artwork. Grizzly Ritual. Okay, so we're creating the blood tokens here. Wolf Strike. Cruel Witness, Bird Horror, Fierce Retribution, Spiked Ripsaw. What is this? Artifact Equipment. How is that thing powered? Is he cranking some handles or something there at great speed? Interesting. Markov Retribution. And Patchwork Crawler. Creature, Zombie Horror, 1/2 for 2. So 2 in the blue. Exile target creature card from your graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Crawler. And it has all of activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with it. Craziness! So you can Frankenstein that thing into all sorts of horrors. Next up we got Griff Ryder. Blood Servitor. Ooh. Stitched Assistant, Laid to Rest, and Stentia Uprising. Enchantment for 4. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 red human creature token. Then if you control exactly 13 permanents, here we go again, you may sacrifice Stentia Uprising. When you do, it deals 7 damage to any target. Next packet, we've got Ancestral Anger, Undying Malice, Unhallowed Phalanx, Sure Strike, Resistant Squad, and Geralf Visionary Stitcher, Legendary Creature, Human Wizard, 1/4 for 3. Zombies you control have flying, and for a blue, tap, sack another non-token creature. You get to create an X blue zombie creature token where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. Interesting. Okay, cranking out the tokens. We've got a Solhoff Entomber, Weaver of Blossoms, Gift of Fangs, Fell Stinger. Okay, another Scorpion. Into the Night. It becomes night. Okay, that's an easy way to get that to happen right away. And Helena and Elena Partners. So legendary creature, Human Ranger, 2/3 for 4. First strike and reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Helena and Elena's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. Welcome, Dolph Grimm. Yes, it's wedding day. Did anyone catch that awesome trailer? The quality of the animation, I think we've headed into movie territory now. Absolutely incredible. With a fun twist at the end. I thought I knew where it was going and I didn't. It was sort of obvious in hindsight. We got a Lantern Bearer, Parish Blade Trainee, Frenzied Devils, and Edgar, Charmed Groom. Oh, Edgar, what is going to happen to you after you are married? Legendary creature, Vampire Noble, 4/4 for 4. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. Seems about right. And when he dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Okay, so he turns into Edgar Markov's Coffin. Legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink and put a bloodline counter on Edgar Markov's Coffin. And if there are 3 or more bloodline counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. Really like the flavor on this card. So he dies and you're rejuvenating him with the blood of sacrifices, I guess, cranking out vampires, and then he turns back into Edgar. Seems good. Next up we got Daybreak Combatant, Scattered Thoughts, Mulch, Parasitic Grasp, Ghostlight Snare, and Alchemist Gambit. Sorcery for 3, Cleave for 4, 2 blue and a red. Oh no! This is the one I was reading about before. Take an extra turn after this one. During that turn, damage can't be prevented. Here's the gotcha. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. So if you cleave it, you get your extra turn, but it's going to cost you. Exile Alchemist Gambit. Okay, I can see these shenanigans with that one and the other card. What is the blue one that gets you an extra turn? Oh dear. Hungry Ridgewolf. Vampire's Kiss. Blood Fountain. Okay, cranking out the blood tokens. Sawblade Slinger. Thirst for Discovery. And Aerith Tormented Prophet. Legendary creature, Human Wizard. 2/4 for 3. If you draw a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Instead, you may play those cards this turn. Norberg Salamatin says, sweet. Yes. What's his name? So-and-so's Epiphany. Why can't I remember his name? My brain is fried. We've got a Courier Bat. Brian Kuma. Turns into a Brian Ban gift. Markov Waltzer. And Torrent's Fist of the Angels. Okay, we saw that one earlier. We got a Vampire Slayer. Okay. Traveling Minister. Kessig Flame Breather. Gluttonous Guest. Fleeting Spirit. Is this a bit of a story scene here? I haven't read the lore. Oh, right. There we go. Alran's Epiphany. That's the one. Thank you, sir. Mirror Hall Mimic. Creature Spirit. 0/0 for 4. So you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. And you can disturb it for 3 and 2 blue. So casting it from the graveyard. You get Ghastly Mimicry, Enchantment Aura, enchant creature at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. If it be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Nice. Okay. So getting some good variety so far. Crushing Canopy. Wary Prisoner. Of course, werewolves are back. Oh well. Evolving Wilds is back. End the festivities. Angelic Quartermaster. Okay, angels could be a thing. Twin Blade Geist. And Consuming Tide. Sorcery for 4. Each player chooses a non-land permanent they control. Return all non-land permanents not chosen this way to their owner's hands. Then you draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you. Seems like it could be a bit of a commander thing. Okay, we've got the Zombie Bear, Diagraph Scavenger, Voldaran Epicure, more ways to create some blood tokens, Reckless Impulse, Valorous Stance, and here's another one, Odric Blood Curse, legendary creature, vampire soldier, 3/3 for 3. When he enters the battlefield, create X blood tokens, where X is the number of abilities from among... Oh, this is gonna take a deep breath. Flying, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Madness, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance found among creatures you control. Count each ability only once. Okay, so I was going to wonder if there was a way to really crank out those blood tokens. Dolph Grimm says, I think this set's going to be a little more spicy than the last few. Is that something you would agree with? Definitely looks like some fun new toys here. Serpentine Ambush. So you can turn a creature into a blue serpent. Ceremonial Knife. Okay, so some more creating blood tokens. And Dorothea, Vengeful Victim, legendary creature spirit, 4/4 for 2 flying. When it attacks or blocks, sack it at the end of combat. Disturb for 1 white and blue. And comes back as Dorothea's Retribution, Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. And the enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Sack that token at end of combat. And if Dorothea's Retribution will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Okay, so whenever this creature attacks... Right, so the spirit comes out and then disappears at end of combat. Okay, seems decent. Persistent Specimen. Dormant Grove. Okay, got some Tree Folk. Skulking Killer. And Stormcarved Coast. Okay, so we do have some dual lands. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap for blue or red. Welcome Wheezing. The good pull you missed was Chandra. That was pretty early on. You might want to rewind a bit and check that out. It is an awesome looking card. Next we have a Moldgraph Millipede Insect Horror. Spore Crawler, Fungus, okay. Hookhand Mariner, Cartographer's Survey, Storm Chaser Drake, and Consuming Tide. Okay, so we saw that one before. Can we pull another Chandra? That is the question. Vile Spawn Spider and a wild card. Mythic wild cards never go astray. Always got a use for them. And likewise gold wild cards to a lesser extent. Wedding Invitation. Desperate Farmer. Oh, the flavor on this. Look at that artwork. He comes back as a Depraved Harvester. Or when another creature you control dies. Okay, that makes sense. Belligerent Guest. Magma Pummeler. And Torrens. I think that's the third one of those we've got at this point. We've got a Wanderlight Spirit. Dread Fugue. Cloaked Cadet. You just know I've got to build a deck around this guy. Toxrill, the corrosive legendary creature. Slug Horror, 7/7 for 7 at the beginning of each end step. Put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. And whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. There they are. And for a blue and black sack a slug, you get to draw a card. Love it. Wheezing says, excited for the vampire cards. So great. New cards for my vampire deck. Yes, awesome. Sanctify, Markov Purifier, and Creepy Puppeteer. Creature human rogue 4/3 for 4 with haste. Whenever it attacks, if you attacked with exactly one other creature this combat, you may have that creature's base power and toughness become 4/3 until end of turn. Okay, so good way to maybe crank up some of those smaller 1/1s or something. Welcome Shoto. Apprentice Sharpshooter, Flourishing Hunter, Pointed Discussion, more blood tokens, Edgar's Awakening, Screaming Swarm, Bird Horror, and Lantern Flare. Instant for 2, it has Cleave X for X and red and white, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. And then if you cleave out the X, that's the number of creatures you control. I see. Next up we got Massive Might, Archghoul of Thraben, and Dying to Serve. Nice artwork on that one. Enchantment for 3. Whenever you discard one or more cards, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. Yes! This ability triggers only once each turn. So another one I'd like to build something around. Fantastic. We've got a Steel-clad Spirit, Voltaic Visionary. Here he is, Sauron the Mirthless. Legendary Planeswalker Sauron, 4 loyalty for 4. Looks like he's off the cover of a paranormal romance or something. We got a +1. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. His -2. Create a 2/3 black vampire creature token with flying and lifelink. -7 deals 13 damage to any target. There it is again, that 13. You gain 13 life. I like it. Next we have a Flame Blessed Bolt. And Geralf is back, stitching together zombies. Blood Petal Celebrant, more blood tokens. Lightning Wolf, Cobbled Lancer, this is the weird zombie horse. And Hurtful Initiate, creature human warlock 1/2 for a single white with training. For 2 and a white, remove 2 +1/+1 cannons from among creatures you control. Destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Wheezing says, somebody drilled me with this in the afternoon. Planeswalker is brutal. I imagine so. Looking forward to it. We've got a Rural Recruit. So when it enters the battlefield, create a 3/1 green boar creature token. Groom's Finery. And Change of Fortune. Sorcery for 4. Discard your hand and draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. Next up we've got a Pyre Spawn, Snarling Wolf, Blood Crazed Socialite, more blood there. And Runo Stromkirk, what is his deal? Legendary creature, Vampire Cleric, 1/4 for 3, flying. When he enters battlefield, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If a creature card with mana value 6 or greater is revealed this way, transform Runo Stromkirk into Crossthus, Lord of the Deep. Awesomeness. Legendary creature, Kraken Horror, 3/5 with flying. What? Whenever he attacks, create a tapped and attacking token. That's a copy of another target attacking creature. Here we go. If that creature's a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, create 2 of those tokens instead. So we're going to go for some Sea Creature Tribal in this set. We have a Falconwrath Celebrants, Lunar Rejection, Honeymoon Hearse, and Hiveheart Shaman, creature human shaman, 3/5 for 4. Whenever it attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card that doesn't share a land type with a land you control. Put that card onto battlefield, then shuffle, and for 5 and a green. So you're going to want to ramp into this. Create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Alrighty. And Shoto says budget or normal deck for a beginner. Do you mean arena or paper? So if you're a beginner, definitely keep to a budget and try to maybe start with something that's upgradable. So have an idea of what you maybe want to build but you can't afford right now, and then build a lower powered version of that deck, and then gradually add new cards to it. You might want to do some testing though. If you're building in paper, you probably want to test it out on Arena first, just to make it cheaper. And Shoto says, not exactly learning, been playing for a while, and stumped, currently have 4 mythic wild cards. Yeah, so hang on to those until you've come up with a deck you want to build. Only decks I have are Shrines, Historic, and Budget Golgari Pests. Yep, so Weezing says, think he means Arena. Wait a year, playing is considered budget, right? Or amateur? Yeah, amateur. You're not... I think when I started out, there was no Arena. Played the Planeswalker decks for probably a couple of weeks and got my butt kicked and started off with some budget decks. Probably after, I don't know, 3 months or something, I was trying to build stuff that cost a bit more. So anyhow, good luck with that. Any suggestions for Shoto, leave them in the chat or comments. Next up, we've got Binding Geist, Heron Blessed Geist, and an Ascendant Pack Leader. And I clicked too quick, so I have no idea what he does. Let's open another one. So you got a Braid. Okay, nice new artwork there. Chill of the Grave, Honored Heirloom, Rending Flame, and a wild card. Shoto, there's too many decks to pick from. That is true. That is good. That's a sign of a good format. If there's a lot of different viable decks. We've got a Ballista Watcher. And a mythic Cemetery Illuminator, creature spirit, 2/3 for 3 flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast a spell from the top of your library if it shares a card type with a card exiled with Cemetery Illuminator. Okay, and next up. So Shoto says, I find one cool deck and then there are cooler ones. LOL. Dolph Grimm, what MTG Unpacked means is mono red aggro. Yes. How could you not? I mean, the choice is obvious, isn't it? Build mono red aggro and play it into the ground until you're sick of it, and then create a new deck, something more exciting than that. Fury Pixel, add hashtags on the description to your videos to get more engagement and YouTube push them. Well, add them. You don't add them to the description because that's called keyword stuffing. So I have dozens of keywords in my tags field. So yeah, I know generally why YouTube doesn't push videos if it's not a new set, if it's not something exotic. It generally doesn't get pushed too far. Next we have a Brambleworm, Wandering Mind, a horror. That's an interesting looking horror you've got there, sir. And Hamlet Vanguard, creature human warrior, 1/1 for 3, ward for 2. It enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it for each other non-token human you control. For instance, talking about pushing videos, if I were to open 3 packs of antiquities, I would get a great number of views. But unfortunately, that would cost, let's see, probably, what is it now, like 3 or 4 grand. So it's not really worth it ultimately. We got another Storm-Carved Coast. Kindly Ancestor and Ancestor's Embrace. Radiant Grace. And is that Anye? Probably Anye. Maid of Dishonor. Legendary Vampire for 4, 5 for 4. Whenever it or another one or more other vampires enter the battlefield under your control, create a blood token. This ability triggers only once each turn for 2. Sack another creature or a blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I'm liking that color combo. Some of you regulars can probably understand why. Shoto, do you have enough cards where you can have any deck you can dream of? No. You probably have to spend about $500 per set to get every card that you wanted. So usually I have to be a bit choosy. I haven't been crafting quite so many decks in MTG Arena these days, but I think it was around the time of Ikoria. I did a bunch and I had to keep buying a bunch of packs to get more wild cards, so that sort of sucked. Hopeful Initiate. Okay, we saw you earlier. Shoto, I was thinking mono red goblins. Oh, yes. Mono red goblins. That is the perfect deck. I did a deck tech with historic goblins. I wonder if that's still any good. Probably not. Probably want to mix and match a few new goblins on that one. Next up we have a Fearful Villager, Distracting Geist, Blood Hypnotist, and Sigarda's summons Enchantment for 6. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have base power and toughness 4/4, have flying and are angels in addition to their other types. So that's probably something you want to try in an angel deck. And actually, now that I think of it, Innistrad doesn't have any goblins at all. So you're pretty much restricted to cards from an earlier set. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Zortak. My name's Anders, digital artist, currently working on a Liliana Vess artwork. I'd like to share it with you and give you for free my print file once it's done. By the way, big fan. Awesome. Thank you for the super chat. And here is a Mind Leech Ghoul. There you are. Enjoy that. Hope you're not eating your dinner right now. Bramble Armor, Skull Scarb, and Dig Up. Sorcery for single green. Cleave 1, 2 black, and a green. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, so basic land gets rid of that if you cleave. So search your library for a card. Reveal. Okay, so basically tutor up anything. That's pretty good, actually. Okay, no new cards, but we do get a Sundown Pass. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap 4. Red or white. Next we have Lacerate Flesh. Okay, more blood tokens. That'll probably be in one of my mono-red aggro decks. Syncopate. And Dominating Vampire. Creature Vampire 3/3 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of vampires you control until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. I like it. So vampires, I'm probably going to build a vampire deck or more. Build a bunch of them, I think. Dream Shackle Geist. Creature Spirit 3/1 for 3. Flying at the beginning of combat on your turn. Choose up to 1. Tap target creature. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Alright. Next up, what do we got? Bloodsworn Squire. Ill-Tempered Luna. Gotta let that howl permeate the eardrums. Creature Human Werewolf 3/3 for 4. Whenever it's dealt damage, deals that much damage to any target. 1 and a red. It gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So that's only the Daybound. On the Nightbound side, we have a Howlpack Avenger. Creature Werewolf 4/4. Whenever a permanent you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. 1 and a red. It gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Mike Prince says we need vampire goblins. So can we... Is there a card that other creatures you control are vampires in addition to their other types? That is how we achieve it. Let me know if that is something that exists, because I need to try it out. And Shoto says, if you had to pick, what deck should I craft? I don't have anything in particular that stands out, so I don't know. Wheezing burn deck's always good to go. Yeah, so you probably want to stick with standard, because historic is pretty crazy overpowered. So your wild cards aren't going to go quite as far. What was that deck? The Dragon's Approach was fun. I did that recently. The Pest deck was decent. Adding on, because you mentioned you had a Pest deck, adding on the Meat Hook might be Meat Hook Massacre might be something you would want to craft. I think that would be pretty crazy addition to that one. Dolfgrim, honestly, Mono Red Goblins is really simple and good deck at the moment. Shoto, I always see it getting destroyed. Take a look at the Historic Goblins deck I did. There's a whole bunch of win conditions in that one you might want to check out. So, Inspired Idea, Sorcery for 3, Cleave 3 and 2, blue, draw 3 cards, and then your maximum hand size reduced by 3 for the rest of the game. That's pretty brutal, actually, so you'd want to get something really good for that downside, unless you cleave it. We've got the Dying to Serve again. Deathcap Glade, okay, so a Golgari land, dual land. Mike Prince, pre-release tomorrow, hope to get some Cleave cards, yes. Catapult Fodder, that looks awesome. And Jacob Hawken Inspector, legendary creature, human advisor, 0/2 for 2. So tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand face down. You may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may pay 4 and 2 blue if you do. Transform Jacob Hawken Inspector into Hawken's Insight. So there's a bit of a detective here. Legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library face down. You may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled, and once during each of your turns, you may play a land or cast a spell from among the cards exiled with this permanent without paying its mana costs. That seems pretty strong, honestly. And he's a mythic. And Zortat says, are you doing a physical Innistrad Crimson Veil unboxing after the release? So I will be, if I can get my hands on them, exactly, Wheezing. So these set boosters, there's some issue. One of the distributors has practically nothing for the whole of North America. So my LGS I normally get an entire case from to start with. Probably won't be able to get me anything on release weekend. There's another LGS. They say they can get me at least 3 boxes. So I'll be trying to get that. And tomorrow, hoping to pick up a couple of pre-release boxes. We'll be cracking those on the channel this weekend. Dolfgrim, I believe Jacob's pronounced Yorkob. Okay, so more of a European pronunciation. Yeah, so if you can get your hands on some Crimson Vow, there was some sort of supply chain issue, and I think one of the distributors was hit by a ransomware attack. So you can imagine that's a bit of a spanner in the works. Next up, we've got Siphon Essence, Mischievous Catgeist. I mean, I don't normally build blue decks, but this has a cat in it. I've got to build something around that. Totally. And Splendid Reclamation. Is that Ren and 7 I see there? Sorcery for 4. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay. So discard a bunch of lands into your graveyard and then bring them back. That seems pretty crazy. And Dolfgrim, Innistrad is basically Germanic. Mike Prince the Cat. Zortak, keep it up. Emoji there, little dancing dude, lifting weights. Thank you again for the super chat. Much appreciated. We've got a Runebound Wolf and a Dominating Vampire. We saw that one earlier. Mike Prince says splendid. We got a Sanguine Statuette. Okay, so creating more blood tokens. Wild card, okay. And an Inspired Idea. So you'll see we'll be zipping through things a bit quicker now. Zortat, hope you can get it, or at least some booster boxes. Pretty sure, I think it's just the set boosters are affected. Pretty sure I'll be able to get the bundles, collector boosters. I'm going to go hunting around town for the theme boosters. My local Walmart pretty much doesn't sell Magic anymore. There's another one, you can get 1 item, so that's pretty useless. So I have to drive about half an hour out of my way to even find those. So that's going to be interesting. Cradle of Safety. Enchant creature you control. Okay, giving it hexproof until end of turn. Hero's Downfall. Boarded Window. We've got some werewolves trying to get in. And Old Ratstain. Legendary creature, human peasant, 1/4 for 3. When Old Ratstain enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. If land card's milled this way, here we go. Here's part of the combo for that other card where you return them from the graveyard. For land cards milled this way, create a treasure token. If a creature card's milled this way, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. And if a non-creature, non-land card is milled this way, create a blood token. Interesting. Okay. McLovin the Walrus says, what's your user to add you? Is it going to appear? Yeah, Dark Pyre is the name here. If you want to add there, I sometimes have games against viewers. Haven't done that in a while though. We've got Oakshade Stalker. There he is again, halfway to our playset. Glorious Sunrise. Enchantment for 5 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Choose 1. Creature you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn. Target land Gains tap, add 3 green until end of turn. Okay. And draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. You gain 3 life. Wow. Nice menu of options there. Mike Prince, did you crack a mana form Hellkite on stream? I don't think we have yet. Keep our eyes peeled for that. Is that an awesome big dragon? Let me know. And now it's the time in the stream. I see we have 17 watching, only 1 thumbs up. What is happening here, people? Honestly, I expect a few more thumbs up there. That would be fantastic if you can. Doesn't cost a thing. Okay, Restless Bloodseeker. Whispering Wizard. And Voldaran Bloodcaster. Here's another one for the Vampire decks. Creature Vampire Wizard 2/1 for 2. Flying. Whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, transform Voldaran Bloodcaster into Bloodbat Summoner. That sounds awesome. Creature Vampire Wizard 3/3 with flying at the beginning of combat on your turn. Up to 1 target blood token you control becomes a 2/2 black bat creature with flying and haste in addition to its other types. That is awesome. Zortat says, alright man, leave now, live in Taiwan, working time. Contact you once I finish your Liliana's artwork. Sure, I will take a look at it. Happy to take a look. Dolph Grimm, mana form Hellkite equals Dragon Nado. You had me at Dragon, but that Nado, that means that I need to build a deck around that. Totally. Yes. And then we got an ill-tempered loner with an awesome howl. We got a Diver Scarb. That is awesome artwork, by the way. Sigardian Paladin. Stentia Uprising. We saw that one earlier. Griffwing Cavalry. Oh! Oh! I see this card name. And I'm having flashbacks. Has anyone in the US, you need to go to Wisconsin if you haven't already. Check out House on the Rock. They have this awesome dollhouse section. And also a nice collection of dolls in various parts. So, Dollhouse of Horrors. That is it right there. I also went for their Halloween evening. So they shut down the main place and have all these... you basically walk through it in the dimly lit corridors. It is so cool. Definitely worth checking out if you've never been there. So this, anyhow, let's move on to what does this card do? It's an artifact for 5, 1, tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of the exiled card, except it's a 0/0 construct artifact in addition to its other types, and it has, this creature gets +1/+1 for each construct you control. It gains haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so copying cards from your graveyard. And yeah, you can just keep on doing that and get these beefy constructs. I like it. Next we have a mythic cultivator colossus creature plant beast. Star. Whenever I see a star, I nod my head and I go, ooh, that sounds awesome. Creature plant beast for 7. Trample, its power and toughness reach equal to the number of lands you control. Yes. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, we're going to see a lot of this, aren't we? If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. Yes, another deck idea. The brews are going. Yes, exactly, Mike Prince. Ooh. Wild card. I'm going to need that for that green dude. Get a couple more of those. Dreadfeast Demon. 6/6 for 7 with flying. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dreadfeast Demon. So yeah, that is pretty nasty. So keep sacrificing things. You can sacrifice some 1/1s and they stick around. I like the sound of that. McLovin the Walrus says broken. Indeed, that could apply to any of the cards I've pulled up in the last couple of minutes. And it's a delightful wedding announcement. Enchantment for 3 at the beginning of your end step. Put an invitation counter on wedding announcement. If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then if wedding announcement has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it. And it turns into wedding festivity. Enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. Alright. Got some violin music there. Dying to Serve, that's 3. Mythic Wildcard. Path of Peril, sorcery for 3, cleave 4 white and black, destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. Okay. Very versatile card right there. And got a Dream Shackle Geist with an awesome sound effect. Child of the Pack. What? We've got a weird human werewolf. Gutter Skulker. I think I saw one of these in the gutters around Halloween. And Shattered Sanctum. So you got your Oars of Land there. Dolph Grimm, the music on the new update is amazing. I wish I could play, but I'm cracking packs right now. Maybe later. We've got Adamant Will. Hiveheart Shaman, we saw him earlier. Heron of Hope. Bolt the Bird, or maybe not. Consuming Tide. Oh, another Mythic Cemetery Desecrator. And the zombies, I think, are going to come into their own in this set. Creature zombie 4/4 for 6 with Menace. Whenever it enters battlefield or dies, exile another card from a graveyard. When you do, choose one. Remove X counters from target permanent, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. Target creature an opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. So you get some removal or removing counters. So probably best use, let's see, exile another card from a graveyard. I see. So removing counters from, probably from a target permanent the opponent controls. Okay. Got a Innocent Traveler flipping around into the Malicious Invader. Glorious Sunrise. Skywarp Scarb. Stormcarved Coast. Reclusive Taxidermist. Their motto, you snuff 'em, we stuff 'em. I can see it now. That's probably on the main street of Innistrad, actually. Voice of the Blessed. Creature Spirit Cleric 2/2 for 2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Voice of the Blessed, as long as it, or Blessed, I should say, as long as it has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it. It has Flying and Vigilance. And as long as it has 10 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Indestructible. That is craziness. McLovin the Walrus says, hit the thumbs up, guys. Honestly, I think we need a few more thumbs up here. Dolph Grimm says there's a cemetery card for each color, similar to the adversary cycle. Interesting. Have to pay attention to that. And I do need to listen to that music for a second. Blood Tithe Harvester. Inspired idea. And a moment of peaceful contemplation for all the victims of Olivia Voldaren. I'm sure there's quite a few as part of the wedding. Check out that awesome trailer if you haven't already. Yep, that is truly awesome. Sheltering Boughs and Change of Fortune. Okay, we're down to 80 packs. Holy moly, we've been going for almost an hour at this point. Kessig Wolf Rider, creature Humanite, 1/2 for a single red with menace, 2 and a red. Tap, exile 3 cards from your graveyard. You get to create a 3/2 red wolf creature token. Moving right along, let's churn through these packs. Alluring Suitor. Edgar is back. Saw him earlier. Don't need to see him again. That's the second one. Wolfkin Outcast. Looks a bit like Tom Hanks in that... what was that movie? He's stranded on the desert island. It's another one. I've forgotten the title. Outcast, is that it? Something like that. Odric Bloodcursed. Wild card, okay. Could do with more wild cards. Old Rutstein, number 3. Let's get some more juice here. Ragged Recluse turns into an odious witch. Dornheitgeist. Pardon me, been a while since I've eaten. Hullbreaker Horror. Creature Kraken Horror, 7/8 for 7. This set. Yes, Dolphgrim, that's the one. Castaway was that Tom Hanks movie I was thinking about. Creature Kraken Horror Flash. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That is awesome. I think the last time I did a sea creature deck was around the time of Ikoria. I think it was a mill deck, actually. And Dolphgrim's got the little Wilson, what is it, a volleyball, I think, emoji in the chat. Kessig Wolf Rider. Moving right along. Let's see some new cards, people. Sundown Pass, okay. Getting some nice lands at least. Biolume Egg. Okay, so this one creates serpents. When you sacrifice it, transform it. Okay, I like that. Another Sundown Pass. Dolphgrim, that Kraken card makes me sick. You mean literally you're vomiting, or it's a sick card? I think it's the latter. Patchwork Crawler, pardon me again. Awfully sorry, so rude. No manners. Necroduality. Mythic Enchantment for 4. Whenever non-token zombie enters battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. I foresee shenanigans. Got an Ancient Lumberknot. Okay, Tree Folk. Dollhouse of Horrors. I love it. Ollenbock Escort. Crawling Infestation. Okay, more mill support. And the Dollhouse. It heard me. It's like, you want more Dollhouse? Here you go. Pack Song Pup. Ooh. I should have howled instead. Averbruck, Caretaker, Mythic, Creature Human Werewolf. 4/4 for 6 hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, daybound. And at night, we have the Hollow Henge Huntmaster 6/6 with hexproof. Other permanents you control of hexproof. Nice. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on each creature you control. That is pretty broken, actually. Dolfgrim is vomiting as a defense mechanism from mono blue control. Yeah, it is slightly nauseating. We've got an Alchemist Retrieval. And when I say slightly, picture the cleave cost being paid there to remove the word slightly. And you will accurately capture my feelings on that subject. Lantern Flare. Howling Moon, enchantment for 3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target wolf or werewolf you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Nice, so you get to punish them for casting spells. Glorious Sunrise, yes indeed. By invitation only, sorcery for 5. Choose a number between 0 and 13. Here's that 13 thing again. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. Oh, that is like a nice board wipe. I can picture the opponent with all these little humans, and you just say 13 and wipe out your opponent. I know it wipes yours out as well, but that would be glorious. Dolfgrim, LOL, wonderful. Incorporating the new mechanics into conversation. Impressive. And then in the square brackets we have not. Dreamroot Cascade. So, yeah, another land. Massive Might. Why didn't I see the giant slug before? Or snail. Stancia Uprising, I think that's probably the third one by this point. Creepy Puppeteer, there's another creepy thing I saw at House on the Rock. Creepy Demented Puppets. Another wild card. And I would normally say they haunt my nightmares, but they haunt my pleasant dreams. Hamlet Vanguard. Shattered Sanctum. Okay, where's some juice? I Love Mud Balloon says, what do you think about the Spirits Precon? I know absolutely nothing about it. What is the other one? Do they have Spirits and Vampires? If they have Vampires, I would pick that over Spirits, but we will be opening both of those, I'm thinking next weekend probably, on the release weekend. So I'll have a better idea once we get stuck into it. Thought I'd let that howl play out for you for your listening pleasure. Bit of ASMR there. I don't know if that impacts anybody or not. Maybe it's triggers you or something. Makes you vomit uncontrollably. Hocken. Inspector. Sounds like I've got something caught in my throat. Hocken. Benedict Wickaxono. Sorry for butchering your name. Greetings from Bali. Bali, there's a nice place. I bet you've got a very nice sunrise about now, or maybe it's late morning. Somewhere around there. That used to be the tourist destination of choice for Australians. Fiji, I think. Fiji or Bali were the two big overseas ones. Oh, wait. Wait, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, reprinted. Legendary creature, human soldier, 2/1 for 2. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Okay then. I mustn't have been paying attention during the spoilers. Dolph Grimm says, Yorkub. I want to say Hockub. Hockub sounds better to me. But you're right. Yes, Yorkub. I'll get it right eventually. We got a Falconwrath Forebear, creature vampire, 3/1 for 3, flying, can't block. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Pay a black, sack 2 blood tokens, return Falconwrath Forebear from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice. Just keeps on coming back. Mythic Wildcard, yes. Deathcap Glade. Ascendant Pack Leader. That's me clearing something out of my nostrils, I guess. Happens from time to time, you know. Sound a bit congested. Welcoming Vampire. Okay, we have white vampires here. Creature vampire, 2/3 for 3, flying. Whenever one or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Boo! I wish that was cleaved out of there. Never mind. And a Mythic Cemetery Gatekeeper. It's red. I like it instantly. We have red vampires as well. Creature vampire, 2/1 for 2. First strike, when it enters the battlefield, exile a card from a graveyard. Whenever a player plays a land or casts a spell, so that could be you or your opponent, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, Cemetery Gatekeeper deals 2 damage to that player. I like it. Dolph Grimm reckons Welcoming Vampire is a solid card. Can't say I disagree with that statement. And you could cleave out that can't say, but let me know what you think. We've got that extra turn card there, so 2 of those. Undead Butler, looking spiffy, sir. Pardon me, that's the demon again. Another land. We're getting close to the end here, people. Only 37 more packs. Now we have a equivalent of a booster box, 36 sort of skimpy packs. You'd normally get 15 here. You only get 8. Howling Moon. Wash Away. Here we go, more cleaving goodness. Torrens, that's my playset taken care of. Fear of Death. Okay, so some milling if you're into that. Runo Stromkirk with the Kraken Horror. That's something where I'd hold my nose and add some blue mana to my deck. Demonic Bargain, that's the 13 card thing again. Overcharged Amalgam, okay. Exploiting. I think that card's rather exploitative. Ooh. Did I say that out loud? Olivia Crimson Bride, legendary creature, vampire noble. It's a mythic. 3/4 for 6. Rakdos colors. You know I've got to use it. Flying and haste. Whenever it attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. What? That is sick. It gains when you don't control a legendary vampire. Exile this creature. Oh, okay. So you don't get to have them forever, just as long as Olivia or another legendary vampire is around. How many legendary vampires do we have in this set anyhow? Is it more than just her? With a foreboding statue. Wild card, okay. Another land. A little bit uninspiring there. I think that's a playset of Stentia Uprising. Path of Peril, come on! Where are the mythics? We need some more mythic madness here. Nice sound effect, Dorothea. You sound like a spirit. Got the insect dude. Really cranking through the packs now. Pack leader, pardon me. Lambholt Raconteur. And an Headless Rider. Creature zombie 3/1 for 3. Whenever Headless Rider or another non-token zombie you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Yes, another one to brew around. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Zombies, vampires, blood, angels. There's a bunch of crazy things. Krakens. What would you... Oh, Dolph Grimm says Odric's a vamp now. You get him yet? I don't think we have. Or maybe we did. Maybe we got an Odric earlier on. I can't remember. I've opened too many packs. Oh! Speak of the devil and he appears. Yes. Okay, so it doesn't have the new icon there. So, yeah, we did come across him before. So he's now a vampire. Wasn't he a werewolf before? Oh, he's now turned to the other side. Path of Peril. I think that's number 3 or 4. Mythic Wildcard. Dorothea. Gatekeeper, mythic. Okay, so we did get a mythic vampire. That'll save me from having to spend those wild cards. Insect dude, I think that's number 3 or 4 by this point. Hyper. That's a new one, okay. Creature, human, werewolf, 2/2 for 4. This spell can't be countered for 1 and a green tap. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield if it's a wolf or werewolf. Untap Hellpat Piper. Activate only as a sorcery. And then on the other side here, the Nightbound, we have Wild Song Howler. Creature werewolf 4/4. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transformed into Wild Song Howler, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay. So more werewolves. Mike Prince says no goblins in this plane, but Kamigawa should bring them back. Yes, totally. Dolph Grimm, werewolves can't become vampires. That's against the rules. What are the rules from? Is that the rules of Innistrad or the rules from what was that awful series of movies? I can't think of it now. The dude, Robert Pattinson, is now Batman. What? Honestly, he makes an awesome Batman, I must say. Yeah, what were those Twilight movies? Except they had the sparkly vampires, didn't they? Don't think we have too many sparkly vampires in this Magic set. They're sort of brutal. That's number 3 of the demon there. Yeah, McLovin the Walrus with Twilight. Yeah, it took me a while There's another one. There's my playset. So the gears are turning rather slowly in my brain after a full day of work. Circle of Confinement. Necro-Duality Mythic. Dolphgrim LOL the proverbial rules. Picture me making the air quotes with my fingers. Rules. Is that like the vampires with the stake to the heart? Or the cross, the garlic? What is it? I think silver. Doesn't silver affect vampires and werewolves? I forget. Read a bunch of urban fantasy with werewolves and I can't remember the rules. I'm pretty sure those were the rules. In quotes. Runo with the Kraken Horror. And so we come to the last 5 packs. There's that take an extra turn after this one card. Even red is getting in on the act. It's not just that awful blue. McLovin the Walrus says only vampires. How do you ward off werewolves then? There's got to be some way. Do you give them some dog chow or something? Dolph Grimm says it's like when you strap a slice of jellied toast to a cat and drop it and it hangs there in the air. I don't think it hangs there in the air though. Doesn't it turn into a motor? Doesn't it spin around? So you got the cat. Okay, the cat landing on its feet. It would hang there. So but the jellied slice flips it around. I think it turns into a motor. A cat with jellied toast on its back. Leave a note in the chat or comments. What do you think? Does it just hang there or does it spin around? Here we go. I love mud balloons, setting the record straight. Silver is for werewolves. That's right. Silver bullets, silver crosses. You can put them in a silver cage. Wood was for vampires. So the wooden stake. Right. That's it. Glad we sorted that out. Dolphgrim Perpetual Motion Machine. That's like... have they done this in... I'm sure they've done this a million times in fiction. Having the zombies... I think, you know what? They did it in Fear the Walking Dead. They had the zombies on like one of those wheel things. And they were using it to refine oil. So the zombies are like... I guess they hang like a brain or something in front of them. And so they just walk. And this thing, it was like a mill. This thing turns around and refines oil. So that's what it is, yeah. So you've got the cats with the jelly toast. You've got the zombies on the treadmill or on a mill. Oh, one more pack. One more pack. Okay, let's check the likes here. I think we can do better. I honestly think we can do better. We have 13 people watching. What is the count here? I need to refresh it. What do we have? Refreshing the count. We have 26. So I bet some of you viewers have not given a thumbs up yet. So let's really crank this thing into the YouTube algorithm. Crank it to the moon. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. That's quite alright. I don't care because YouTube is hiding the thumbs down these days. So no skin off my nose if it makes you feel better. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do a absolute crap ton of unboxings, magic stuff on this channel. The occasional flesh and blood. Occasional Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And so forth. Have not done any MetaZoo yet. Leave a note in the chat or comments if you think I should do MetaZoo. And be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. Final pack magic here, let's go. What's it gonna be? Ren and 7, splendid Reclamation. That is a splendid card. Awesomeness. Alright, so Dolphgrim says time to refine the Dragon's Approach deck again. I think he's requesting a bonus feature here. I think he's requesting a bonus feature. Who am I to deny him? Okay, Dragon's Approach. Let's see. So here is the Dragon's Approach, if you're not familiar. It's an awfully fun deck. We did a deck tech on this one. Idea is stuffing your graveyard with Dragon's Approach. We've got 20 of them. And then you're using your Cathartic Pyre, Tormenting Voice to discard cards. And then that lets you cast Velomachus Lawhold. He comes back. He is awesome. And you can cast instant or sorcery spells, so you're usually going to cast a Dragon's Approach. Maybe you want to cast a Draconic Intervention. That's pretty crazy as well. Of course, we've got one Inferno of the Star Mounts. Let's go for... So we want dragons. I don't think there's any white dragons. Do we have... How do we have... Do I have creature types here? Just want creatures. Don't necessarily care if we collected them. Just going to look for a dragon. So he's old hat. Old. Ashmath dragon. Leyline tyrant. Yeah, old hat. Ah! I am going to just craft one of those so I don't forget about it. So what does he do? Manaform Hellkite. Creature dragon. 4/4 for 4. Flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX red dragon illusion creature token. Okay. With flying and haste, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. So we're going to get some... 2/2 dragons. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell. That's actually decent. You could bring that out pretty early on. Tossing things with these cards. Or gaining life here. Yeah, discard. We've got the Valakut Awakening. Yes, okay. I think he earns a spot here, actually. Cool. Okay, what else do we have? So, dragon, volcanic. Okay, we looked at those. Predator, Galazeth, Inferno, Moonveil Regent. That could be another one. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. Okay, you'd only get one though out of that. Not sure that would be that great. Purifying Dragon. Whenever it attacks, deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. That creature's a zombie. Yeah, I think the Hellkite is really the nice addition here. So he's a 4. He's a low end. What do we do here? What do we do? Create an X6 2/2. Yeah, I'll have to think about that, I think. Dolfgrim says blood tokens. X is the amount of mana. Okay, so mana though. Okay. Cast a non-creature spell. Yeah, so you'd want to have something pretty big. Yeah, we're only going to get 2 2s out of this. So, yeah, 2 2s. Or we could get a 3/3. Yep, or 3/3 or a 4/4 potentially. Okay, yeah, I will have to think about that. If you've got any ideas, leave them in the comments or chat. And I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great